Somebody was saying they were glad I wasn't wearing the murder glasses anymore. I don't know what you're talking about. These aren't murder glasses. These are handsome man glasses. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 96 of What's on the Bench Weekly. It's a clean bench now, too. If you're not familiar with the show, it's where I take you through projects that I'm working on, things that are on the bench, things that are on the now fully clean bench. I mean, the bench itself is never really clean. There's always dust on it, for sure. But the room itself, much cleaner. Things are good in here. There's far fewer trucks on the floor. They've all been moved out to the other room on that floor. But what better way to start this new clean journey than with a new project that I don't need, but I'm doing anyway. This is a 3D printed Land Cruiser body. This is the new Land Cruiser that came out this year from Toyota. This is a really nice 3D print, actually. The way that it's put together, you can see that it's all bolted together. Uses M2.5 screws and is just such a work of art. It's really pretty impressive what they were able to do, whoever designed this. I will figure out where I found this file, and I will put a link down below in the description so you can pick one up if you want to do this print as well. I did notice one small error in the print on the hood here. Missed this tiny little triangle here. I think it was probably the way in which I had this oriented on the print bed, so I may try it again. Or I may not. I may just live with it. And because I printed this body in ABS, I can just fill that with some styrene. Use some styrene glue, some slurry, and we're all good to go. There are a lot of gaps, a lot of panel gaps, a lot of unsmooth things. I just wanted to kind of piece it all together to see what it would look like here. I'll take it all apart, sand all of these edges, and then properly fill them so there's no seeing through it. I talked about this last night on the live stream. My original intention was just to plop it on a Zool 2, change the rear suspension setup from a trailing arm suspension setup to a regular 4-link, make it obviously a 12.3 inch wheelbase because that's what this is, and put some really heavily tinted windows in. But everyone's giving me a hard time, and now I think I'm going to need to scale maybe the Night Customs interior for the Night Runner to fit into this, and then we'll have a proper interior. Because I can't just do a quick build around here. So lots of sanding, lots of prep, lots of work to come on this, but I thought it'd be a fun little project, and I wanted to do this new Land Cruiser because I really did kind of like the body style. I like the look of them, and it's the Heritage model, so it's got the round headlights. I'll do the whole front clip in resin, and it's got some side skirts as well. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one. I really like the look of this body, and on the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon, this took like 2 days, and not full around the clock time either. It's a really amazing printer and does a really good quality job. Really cuts down on the amount of sanding that will be required. So looking forward to getting that one done at some point this century. All right, on to the next thing. Hey, look, it's a new me. It's a new me. I'm smaller, but this is the new Night Customs version of me. And this one's set up for the CJ7 from Axial. As you can see, turning head and steering wheel option as well. So you'll have the turning steering wheel. My arms are articulating, which is cool. And I've also got short sleeves on so I can do all the tattoo work as well, which is pretty fun. James does such a great job on these. It really does. It is me, because that's my head. I scanned my face and gave that to James to work with. And I got little tiny Nike Air Maxes on, which I thought was pretty cute too. I did a little bit of sanding work and filler primer to get him to this state. And it won't be too long before he's all painted up and in a truck. And because James does such a good job on this, you can scale me up or down a little bit depending on what you might need for whatever style truck you want to put me in. So yeah, nice that the top button is done up on this one too. Yeah, I can't wait to finish that one. That'll be a good one. Oh, if you're interested in those files, they'll be available very soon. If they're not already available, I'll put a link to James's My Mini Factory and Umagine site, where if you use code SBG20, you'll save yourself 20% off on any of the files there, that's a pretty good deal. I would definitely take advantage of that. Much like I would take advantage of the membership program here on the YouTube channel. Subtle segue. I think on average we're given about 4 or 5 extra videos every month. Lots of tips and tricks, lots of behind the scenes, lots of motivational speaking. So if that's something you're into, of course there'll be a link down below. We'd love to have you. There's many of you already, as you can see by the constant streaming of names. It's very humbling and very nice to share with so many of you. Thank you. All right, on to the next thing. I took this buggy all the way with me to upstate New York to see my friend Richard, and I didn't drive it once. And for no reason. It's just, you know, it's a rock crawler buggy thing, and it doesn't really fit well into where we were terrain-wise. I didn't want to get it muddy either. So it's still exactly the same as the last time. But Brazen Scale did send me their new Delrin machine skid for the bottom of this truck instead of the 3D printed one that I have in there, which works fine. But I noticed that Josh did give me the blem cage when he put this one together, because I have to like cram this thing in here, and it's a little bit bowed, and I think that might be one of the reasons I've had such bad luck with the drivetrain on this rig. So what I'm gonna have to do before I install the Delrin one, because this is not obviously going to move very much, is widen out the cage a little tiny bit. I'll probably have to use some kind of jack or something in order to kind of spread it out properly and evenly. So that'll be a fun experiment, which I will not do on camera for fear of breaking it or ruining it and then never seeing this truck again. So yeah, we'll do that off camera at some point. But what I did want to show you on this Delrin skid, which is pretty neat, Brett over at Brazen Scale did me a solid and made me a custom one, which is really, really nice. He did machine Josh's logo into the skid, which is cool. Yeah, that's cool enough. But on the back, he did the Waffle House logo. So awesome. So cool that he did that. Just to fit the whole theme of this truck, of course. It's a Waffle House truck as well. Hooray. So yeah, that's going to be really fun. Thank you, Brett. Brazen Scale, very awesome company, making awesome stuff. I've got like 3 or 4 of their chassis that I need to do something with. The F-Toy, of course, is a Brazen Scale chassis, but I've got others. So there'll be more projects coming from Brazen Scale in the future. All right, on to the next thing. The CUCV is back on the bench. I do still really want to get this done before August. And, oh my God, it's the 25th. Well, this will probably have to be the focus for the next couple of days, because I really do want to get this done. GCM's having an event coming up very soon, and I want to be able to take this up there and share it with everyone. So, and drive it. Driving it is key. So what do we have to do about this? Well, what have I started doing? I've started doing some detail work here. I've added some bare metal foil to the back of these mirrors. Bare metal foil, great product. It's sort of like a sticky backed, really thin aluminum foil. And it does a great job of creating mirrors or chrome. And what I'll do is I'll put a little piece of clear Lexan, which we'll have to reset the timer for, over that, and then it really does sell the look as a mirror. So we'll do that in the next couple of days probably. In addition to that, I did start wiring up the distributor cap, which is always fun. I had to drill a bunch of holes, and all of this cable or wire is actually lead wire. It's great because it's very heavy, and once you kind of put it into a position, it'll stay there, which is really, really cool. It's better than sort of like using you know, just regular small gauge wiring, because this you can kind of position in the right place and it'll always stay there forever, which, you know, I think more static modelers would use this than anybody else. So that's all going to get painted up here in the next couple of days, and then we'll install that, and I have to figure out where these cables will go, because I don't know much about motors or how those things work. What else? Oh yeah, I did start putting in some grain of rice incandescent bulbs. These are all 6-volt bulbs, and they have a really nice warm glow. They don't have that sort of like traditional LED white or LED blue white. They're designed to be a nice, warm, regular, original style lighting source, which a truck like this from this era would have. So I'm pretty chuffed on that. We'll do the headlights too, of course, and probably the marker lights. Yeah, those will probably need those to be on as well. Why not? Anything else under the hood? Just a bit of wiring. Nothing fancy there yet, but it does need to get weathered ASAP. So many things to do on this truck. I am going to probably, just for the sake of getting it done, stick with the Lexan inner fenders as well. They're not perfect, but they will do for now. I'll scan everything and make my own at some point in the future, because I just got to get it done. Got to get some antennas in here. Got to put a driver figure. Maybe I'll fit in here. Oh, that would be fantastic if I did, which I think I will. Probably won't wire him up for motion, because that steering wheel won't turn. Maybe we'll do the head though. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, all right. Enough on this truck, but certainly not enough. It's got so much more to do. Right down to the wire. I mean, it's only been 3 years since I started it. All right, on to the next thing. And finally today, the extra cab project. This is the Twisted Fabco leaf spring conversion for the VS410 with the RC 4-wheel drive extra cab body on it. Now, of course, when RC 4-wheel drive had their factory make this extra cab body, they didn't, I don't think, actually look at an extra cab when they made it. Probably just from memory. Well, they didn't do it right. There were a lot of problems. Turks and Jerps, my very good friend Richard, he's got an entire video guide on how to correct all of the problems with this body, and I've started to do those things. I'll link to those videos up here actually, so you can go check them out. This is really only like if you're super stickler about details and you really want to have a more accurate looking extra cab body. This is the best way to do it, and Richard is excellent at showing all of the steps in order to make this happen for you. One of the first things that I've already started doing, and you can follow all of this progress on the Scale Builders Guild forum, where I have an actual build thread. I haven't done one of those in years. I focus so much attention here on YouTube that sometimes the forum for me takes a bit of a backseat, but I really wanted to do a proper forum thread, because there is no better way to see how a truck is started to finished. And it's a really amazing threaded way of being able to interact with people and share details and show photos. It's so much better than Facebook. It really is. So I'll put a link down to this build thread in the description so you can check it out there. But the first step I did was getting rid of that weird shelf in the front fender that doesn't exist in real life. And the next step for that, I have to actually go back out and get rid of the taper in the top part of the hood, so this all pushes out a little bit. But essentially what happens, and this is normal, it removes about 12 millimeters from the total width at the front. And it's not a pinch, because you're going to be straightening it back out after you do the re-taper on the front top of the portion of the hood fender part. Lots of words. You'll need to have a new grille created. So I've already done the hard work of removing all the chrome, purple power for the win, and once I get this to the proper width, we'll trim off the headlight buckets, and Richard's got a file for replacing the center part of the grille. So we'll print that up and put all that together and stick it back on. But yeah, that's the first step. Oh, the other thing I did was recontour the inner portion of the hood so it actually matches and meets up with the end of the fender, because before it sat out about 3 millimeters. Why would you want that to be accurate? So yeah, the hope for this is still Proline by the Fire, which I think is doable. We shall see. I think I will actually go in, and now that I've mocked up the leaf spring suspension and it all works great, Twisted Fabco did an amazing job on this conversion kit. I think I'll go ahead and etch prime the whole thing and get some paint on there so it matches the rest of the chassis. Maybe we'll do something funky and paint the chassis rails or do something weird with it. Who knows? Anyway, that's where this is at. Looking forward to getting more done with this. What projects do you have on the go? Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of those comments as I can. And of course, if you're enjoying this video and you like my murder glasses, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Check out channel memberships for more content. That's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week.